Oh my gosh, what's going on, guys? Trying to center myself here. You know what I got to do is the comments. I haven't done a live stream in a while on an iPad, so everything's a little weird right now. Let me pull it up on my phone so I can see the comments because they disappear after a few seconds. So pull that up here. Joshua Stevens, what's going on, man? Matt Force, Jason Taylor, Tony, what's going on, man? Yeah, I know this is kind of like out of nowhere going live tonight. I didn't really schedule it. I've been wanting to do live streams for the last several days, but I've been just jet lagged or just busy. I'm out in Iowa right now on a job, and I'm actually in Airbnb right now that I rented for a month while I finish this job. And yeah, it's been interesting, to be honest with you. It's like 100 degrees out here every day so far, and it's really been a challenge. It's been an absolute challenge out here. But anyways, well, what's going on, Aaron Lucas? What's happening, man? Yeah, so sorry I've been kind of MIA lately, but it's just been really, crazy. But so I wanted to do a recap on Namm. So I took some notes here, and I just want to stick to my points. And if you have any comments, just tag Tone Wars or hit 3 question marks before, and I can scroll back and find them easier, and then I can respond to your comments. I just want to start off by thanking Kyle Karich from Rev for giving Carrie and I free passes to Namm. We were able to get in and do the whole bit there, and really appreciate that. And it was great meeting Kyle. Great dude, a lot of fun to talk to. He was really easy to interview and everything, so I really appreciated that. So that was cool. I wish I had more time to hang out with him. Unfortunately, we had a ton of stuff to do, and I was there staying at my brother's house, who was gracious enough to let us stay there. And so each night we were heading back to his place, and I haven't seen him in a long time, so we had a lot of catching up to do. But anyway, so let me just get to I guess I'll call it my top 5. It's kind of loose, but things that I saw at Namm. So no particular order, it's just 5 things that I thought were really cool. So I finally got to meet Thomas Blug, and the Ampex was there, and I finally got to see it. I actually picked it up. It's very light, and I was surprised at how light it was. And it's a nice format, and it looks like he's going to have a lot of features in that. So there's a lot of promise associated with this product. You can run it direct in front of house with some sort of cab impulse, or you can power a cab with it because it has the nanotube technology in it. And you can do that as well. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. I hope so. Yeah, so and he's going to have drive pedals in it. He's going to have all kinds of different effects before and after the amp. So you can have your choruses, your delays, your reverbs, and some drive pedals, and hopefully you'll have some flangers and phasers in there as well. So I think that's really cool. So I think it's going to be a great product when it comes out. There's a lot of promise, and he's working on getting some amp models in there, like more metal oriented type stuff, and he does have a lot of Marshall type stuff in there, which I think is cool for the guys who love Marshalls. But I mean, I want metal stuff, so I'm waiting for that. So there's still quite a bit that he's got to do to get the product finished, and I know a lot of people are dealing with supply chain issues and whatnot right now. So I mean, I'm sure that's coming into play with that product, but I think it has a lot of great promise, and I'm really looking forward to, seeing what the final product's going to sound and feel like. I think he mentioned also that he's going to try to work with other amp companies so that they can team up with him and, get the tones from different amps. Now, I don't know how that all is going to work, but he did mention that. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm really glad that he's actually waiting until it's, more finished before he releases it. So kudos to Thomas for that, because we don't need another one of those quad cortex situations where you get some half-baked product. You know, I'd like to see people release stuff that's at a certain level that makes people happy, so they're not waiting for what actually they're entitled to for spending that kind of money. So that's cool. And the Ernie Ball guitars were freaking gorgeous. I mean, man, that spalted maple top on that one Majesty was ridiculous, and that really nice purple one was awesome. I mean, all their guitars looked amazing. The thing is that kind of got me, like they sent the pricing out today with those. Whew, man, they are getting a really pretty penny for some of those guitars. I mean, it is brutal, you know. So I don't know, you know you know, what the future holds with the pricing on some of these guitars, because I don't see a lot of people affording stuff like that. I mean, I would love to get a new Ernie Ball too, but I'm not going to spend $6,000 on a guitar. I mean, I'm just not. You know, that's a lot of money to spend on a guitar. I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm just saying that is just a high freaking price. So, I mean, if they can get it, then I guess kudos to them. But we'll see. And the Abasi, you know, collaboration with Ernie Ball, the Kaizen, I guess is how you pronounce it. That looked interesting. Some people, you know, everybody's going to have an opinion about it. You know, it's ugly, it's weird, or it's awesome, or it's gorgeous, or I love I guess there's an infinity neck. I mean, you know, people got on my case like, why didn't you talk about that? I'm like, dude, I didn't even know that guitar existed until I got there. I was busy running my business and flying and making arrangements for all the stuff that I had to do, you know, to study up on all the gear. I don't do YouTube full time. I actually, if I did, I'd be broke. I'd be homeless because I don't make any money doing YouTube. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting looking guitar, and I thought it was odd that he did a collaboration with Ernie Ball, but at the same time he's got his own Abasi Concepts guitars out. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, who am I to say? But I mean, it was just interesting to take note of that. But if you're gonna do a collaboration with somebody, I mean, Ernie Ball's a great company because there's really nothing they can't do. They're such a innovative company. So I mean, look at all the Petrucci models with all the different features that you get on them, with the different you know, trem systems and the piezos and all the awesome, you know, styles and just all the stuff that they do. I mean, it's just freaking, those guitars are like works of art, just beautiful. So that was an interesting booth. You know, so I really enjoyed checking out those guitars, and the new Jason Richardson was awesome as well. That thing looked just beautiful. I just loved how it looked, and I wish I could play some of this stuff, you know, plug into an amp. But I mean, that looks really promising. I mean, you got 3 amps. You got a clean, crunch, and metal. The metal, I believe, is a Soldano type amp. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how that is. I guess you're going to get overdrive pedals, tons of different effects. You have a DI out with an impulse response, which I believe was a Vintage 30. I mean, why not? I mean, you know, it's a very common speaker, so I'm glad they picked something common. And you also have a 12AX7 tube in it with plenty of effects and software. So you do get a 12AX7 in there for tube tone, which is actually really cool. So I like that. It seems like a lot of the companies now, I mean, everything went full digital for a while, like, yeah, digital, this and that, and now they're starting to kind of incorporate some of the analog gear in with the digital stuff, which I think is really cool. They're trying to meet in the middle, and I was hoping things would go that way because there's definitely benefits for both. So now you can have that tube warmth that we're all looking for. I don't know how much you're going to get out of one tube, but I mean, maybe next time they'll add 2. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works, but I would love to see a full tube section in a digital product and merge the two together and make some sort of hybrid rig out of it, which they are doing, but it would be nice to even see more analog stuff in there, you know. That would be really freaking cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of grow with that product. I think that we're taking steps in the right direction, and I think that'll be really cool. Hey, Carrie. Pointing at the wrong thing. What's going on? Good to see you here. I'm just seeing comments as they pop up here. I got my notes on my phone here, so I'm not seeing a lot. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a really cool product, and you get the software, the Two Note software with it too. And Two Notes is um, really, really innovative products as well. Their software is amazing. So I think that's going to be really innovative, and I can't wait to see that come out. They said that they would send me one, and I hope that they do. So Justin, shout out to you. Thanks for doing the interview with me. Did a great job, and appreciate that. And I was in contact with Justin afterwards via email. So as soon as one comes out, I'll be happy to check it out for you guys and tell you what I really think. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. I think that's another very promising product. And again, it's nice to see the analog and digital world coming together and giving us the best of both worlds and seeing how this will work out. So it's nice to see products also come out that don't need to power a cab for us to use on stage. I mean, having that direct out to me is very valuable. Whether you're always going to use it or not, sometimes it's nice to just go on stage and just go, you know what, I'm not going to bring my cab tonight. I got in-ears, I got, whatever. I don't need to have all that stage noise, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the DI out on the product, and especially if it's a good one. I want products to come out now and be more innovative like that, to have all the good stuff with the digital and the analog, blend those together, but also give us that direct out. And don't make the impulse response associated with that DI out an afterthought. Make it a freaking good one. Or even allow us to have the ability to load in our own impulse responses. I mean, it's just a chip. Put a chip in there that allows us to do that. I know I'm oversimplifying it. I'm not a manufacturer, so, but in my mind, it would be nice to have something come out that has all that. So we have an all-in-one product, and we have options. We can either use a cab or not, so it's just nice to have all that kind of stuff. So I think things are trending in that direction, but it's going to take maybe a couple more years for people to get that. Because honestly, if I was in the boardroom with a lot of these companies, I'm kind of an options guy. I'd be like, why aren't we putting impulse responses in this? Oh, we can use an IR loader. Yeah, okay, I get that. But why not just put that inside? And I know there's an extra cost to that, but in a lot of these companies, you get the bean counters that are always like, yeah, but I don't know. Statistics show, people are going to spend this much. And it's like, but, you got people out there buying $6,000 guitars too, that they don't need. So I'm thinking if gear nuts like us will spend, not all of us obviously, $6,000 or even $3,000 on a guitar, I mean, having a product that has a lot of great features on it for maybe a couple more $100, I mean, that to me is worth something. I would spend that money. So I hate it when companies underestimate their ability to sell something based on, well, let's just keep the cost down. Well, keep it down, but put appropriate stuff in there that people are willing to pay for. And I'm not saying they didn't do that. I'm just saying that it's nice to see companies actually starting to move towards that direction. Now, you do get a lot with the Revolt, and I think it's a cool product with a lot of promise. Again, I got to play it to really find out, but I love what they did with it so far. I love the IR out. I love the software. I love all the different effects that you can get. You get 3 different sounds in it. You get a clean, crunch, and a modern metal kind of tone in it. So it's definitely going to do a lot for you. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the Rev booth, obviously I'm a big fan of their products. I love, obviously, the Mark IIIs. They had those out on display, and I couldn't even, I had to get in line to play one. Everybody was really playing the hell out of them things and enjoying it. So, and they had the Arisides, I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever that is. The Arisides booth right next to them on an adjoining wall. So everybody's grabbing their guitars and playing all the Mark IIIs through them. So I thought that was kind of funny. It was hard to, when I was doing the interview with the Arisides to however you pronounce it, they're to have them show me their guitars because everybody was playing them. So that was interesting. And then they have the new Tilt, I believe it's called, the Tilt Overdrive. so I thought the Sean Tubbs collaboration, so that looks really flexible, like a really flexible product. So that looks cool. And I want to try one, but when Kyle was explaining to me all the features on it, I was like, man, there's really not a lot this thing won't do. So I'm really looking forward to trying one of those out as well. That looks really promising. And of course, the gate pedal, the G8 pedal. I love mine. I miss mine. It's not here. It's at home. And So I'm looking forward to getting back to that because I really do like that pedal a lot. It's a great pedal. So so let's see here, and then of course the Meza Barba booth was awesome. Meeting Eric Steckel was awesome. I mean, just watching him shred his butt off right like 3 feet away from me was awesome. I mean, he plays so well, and that amp sounded so good, and he's such a good guy. I mean, he was really easy to interview, very gracious with his time, and I really appreciated meeting him and hearing him play. And I'm glad I got to ask him some questions about that amp and how it was different than the other M0 overdrives. And basically, what the main differences are: it has more low end, more gain, more growl, and the presence knob is more of a upper mids knob as opposed to a super high kind of presency kind of knob. So it actually adds a lot more mids, upper mids to it. It adds that bite, that we're all looking for in our amplifiers. That we want something a little more aggressive. And he made that thing scream. I mean, it was really, really cool. And tied with him would be, the Driftwood Purple Nightmare pedal. I thought that was a really cool, innovative design. It looks cool too. It's all lit up and everything. You know me, I like all the cool lights and stuff like that. But beyond that, it's got to sound good. So let me put that out there too. So that was a cool pedal. It's got the same circuit in it that the amp has. It's got tubes in it, so you get the tube tone, and it also has the overdrive circuit in it that the Purple Nightmare has in it as well. So I'm looking forward to checking one of those out, if I get a chance to. Definitely want to check one of those out. I did sell my Driftwood Purple Nightmare. I think it's a great amplifier, but, taste change. Still think it sounds amazing. I just wanted to, get some money, basically, and fund some other things. But I still think it's a great amplifier. I really do. So those were the kind of the top things. Now, aside from that, I mean, yeah, we saw a lot of crazy custom guitars and some pretty cool stuff there. So that was interesting. I saw guitars I never saw. I would think of seeing before. I mean, we saw this one company that made a $50,000 combo, guitar and bass combo, that looked just outer worldly. It was just really cool. So that was interesting. I really saw a lot of cool stuff. So let me get to some of your comments here, and then I'll move on to the next segment here. Just want to pull this up. So again, just tag Tone Wars or 3 question marks, so I can see you guys. And please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm big time, so I would really appreciate that. So let's see if I can find any comments here. Tony Krosick, fantastic job, Carrie, doing the Namm video camera work. You're a natural, seriously. Yeah, she did a great job. I mean, let me talk about that real quick too. So so when we got there, I mean, it was our first time going there. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know where to go, or I'm trying to find the eyepiece. Where is it? Right there. Okay, it's on that side. All right, so we didn't know where to go. We didn't know where to start, and we just went in there. And the Ernie Ball booth was the first booth that we shot at. And there's all these people milling around. It was like fighting over space there. I mean, there's all these people walking around and stuff, and I was like, where did all these people come from? Now I know Namm's always packed, but I didn't realize that they opened it to the public from day one. So I was like, wow, no wonder it seems like it's Touristville today. Really interesting. So we walked up to the Ernie Ball booth, and I asked one of the guys, I'm like, hey, I want to interview somebody about the guitars from Tone Wars. We're going to film it, a quick interview. And he's like, well, you want to talk to so-and-so. And so-and-so was busy. And he's like, well, he's going to be busy for a while. And I'm like, well, don't you work here? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you probably know more about all the new models than I do. I mean, can I, they just acted like they'd rather just stand there and look cool than actually do interviews, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. I'm like, well, I can't believe you're collecting a paycheck to stand around with your thumb up your ass. But whatever, I guess that's just the way a lot of people's work ethics are today, or lack thereof. And there was like eight dudes standing there with their thumbs up their asses. So that was kind of a pisser. So I ended up just going, well, let's just roll. I'll do it myself. That's usually what happens when I do anything anyways. I usually end up just doing it all myself. So Carrie did it myself with me. And she grabbed the camera and we just rolled with it. And I literally was just one take, just do it all, and just winged it. And there were people all over the place, and she had to get the shots, and it was nuts. But so that's basically what that was. And people were asking too, like, about the microphones, So I bought these Rode, where are they? I put them away. These Rode mics for the trip, and they're wireless, and then you can hook lav mics, where they're in these cases here up to them. And we did sound check them at my brother's house before we left, and I knew that there was going to be noise there, so we you can adjust the decibel amount, you take the decibels down and stuff, because we figured people would be shouting. So we brought the decibels down a little bit on them so that when people shouted, it didn't clip. But you don't know how people are going to shout. There's so many variables when you get there. And so they're, they're multi-directional mics. So I figured, if we held them up from myself and to the guy I'm talking to, it would work, but they're not. You got to have them right here, and there's no way to monitor that when you're shooting live. I mean, we don't have in-ears and monitoring systems. We're just trying to do the best we can. So people were kind of giving me some flack about that. I'm just explaining, like, look, did the best I could. It's my first time at Namm. We didn't have the budget to have a bunch of people come with us and do all the engineering for us. I mean, we literally winged it. And on top of that, we weren't really planning on doing a bunch of filming. We just wanted to go and have fun and enjoy ourselves. But instead, I spent a bunch of money on equipment so that we could get videos up for everybody, and did the best we could. For those of you who appreciated the footage, I thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And for those of you who just complained about everything, I mean, feel free to spend $3,500 and go next year and show me how it's done better. I'm looking forward to that, because that's what this trip costed me. Basically, so getting to someone asked here, Klaus, did you guys get your Yellow Deli on? Yes, we did. Twice, and it was awesome. Yellow Deli rules. In fact, oddly enough, it was the most reasonably priced restaurant out in California. Everything else was like $40 to $50 a plate, which was a complete ripoff. But Yellow Deli was the best food we had out there, and it was like same price as we would pay in Michigan for food. It's very reasonable, and the service was great. The food was awesome, and the atmosphere was even better. I can't recommend that place enough. Super good food. All right, so would I go again? The answer is absolutely not. Resounding hell no. Did I have a good time there? On a personal note, yes, I enjoyed meeting Kyle and Eric Steckel, and some of the other people that I met, like Merrick from Driftwood and stuff like that. That was cool on a personal level, and I'm very grateful for the free pass and the opportunity to go. So I want to make sure that doesn't go unannounced or unnoticed. I'm very grateful for that. But business wise, I mean, was this a good business decision for me? No, it wasn't, because I lost a whole bunch of money from work by not being in Michigan to do the jobs that I had to do. I had to sub that out to somebody and let them take all the money. And I missed out on several house washes that were, I just lost to those opportunities. So when you add that up along with the money that it cost me to go there, um, you know, uh, if I was to ever lose and spend that kind of money again, I would go on a cruise and really enjoy myself and relax and not work and run around with cameras trying to get interviews. That, I mean, it was craziness. And I came home on a red eye flight and I had jet lag for 2 days. I mean, it was insane. And I hate flying. So if I'm going to go through all that again, it's going to be for pleasure, 100% pleasure, and I'm going to be relaxed and not stressed out, not going back to my brother's house and uploading videos and tagging things and coming up with thumbnails and just all the crazy stuff that's involved with it. It's just too much work. Only way I would ever go again is if I was compensated, monetarily, but I don't see that happening. So, and even with all the videos that I put out, I mean, basically what we did was promote a bunch of things for a bunch of people, a bunch of brands, for free, and didn't get compensated for it. Now, am I whining? No, I'm just saying that that's just the cold hard facts about it. We paid to be there to shoot gear and upload it to the channel and promote it and let everybody know that this stuff exists and get interviews with all these people. And the people that we interviewed obviously will be compensated for that, because if people like what they saw and heard, they're going to buy the gear. But the middleman doesn't get anything for it. So I actually paid to be there to do that. So again, just speaking on terms of business wise, it was just, it was a huge loss of money. And people say, well, what about your ad revenue? Well, I probably made about $100 in ad revenue, which barely paid for parking while I was out there. In fact, it didn't pay for parking because it costed $50 each time we valet parked the car, because that was the only way to park there. And I went there twice, so it was, and then plus tip, you're looking at $120 for parking. So it's just not a good business decision for me to ever do it again, because like I said, it was a huge loss. And if I was to spend $3,500 on a trip, that's called a vacation. You're going to go out and enjoy the hell out of yourself, not work for free, so that's not something I would ever do again. I'm glad I went, because I learned a lot, and I got to meet some great people. It's a bucket list thing, but never again. And I don't say that with bitterness or anger or anything. I'm just saying never again. And I'm not the only one. I've seen other channels, that said the exact same thing. They're like, yeah, I would never do it again. It's just a lot of hassle and a lot of work, so that other people can get their brands promoted and products promoted, but us YouTubers get nothing for it. We spent money to be there. And at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like, why, monetarily and business-wise, this doesn't make any sense. So, and the reason why I bring up the ad revenue and the channel and stuff like that is because people are going to say that in the comments. So yeah, but what about all the views? Dude, we make diddly squat on ad revenue on YouTube, and I've already added it up. I haven't even hit $100 yet for all the ad revenue on all of the videos combined on my channel. So what does that tell you? I think I'm at like $33 on my video for the Ernie ball stuff. $33. I mean, there's people in China making tennis shoes making more than that. I mean, it's disgusting. So I just don't want to spend that kind of money every year to go to Namm and just to come back and after all that work and all that stress to be like, why did they do this again? It's just not worth it. And on top of that, everything in California is extremely expensive. I mean, gas is over $7 a gallon. It's everything associated with Namm is just extremely expensive, man. I mean, it is an absolute nightmare to pay for everything around there. I mean, it is just awful. Every meal was, you know, for two people is around $100. Every time you go out to eat anywhere, it's $100 with the tip and everything. You know, I mean, and you're eating out a lot, driving around, doing all the stuff. I mean, it's just a very expensive trip, and like I said, I just don't see how it's worth it at the end of the day. Because I mean, I could take a cruise and spend less money, way less stress, and eat way better. You know, so and I'm not rushing around doing stuff. So yeah, would I do it again? No, absolutely not. I mean, it's not even an argument in my mind. I have no desire to go back, none. So uh, so now let me go over the next segment here. So should Namm, like, is Namm gonna die? Is this it for Namm? Uh, okay, so please understand, I'm a business owner. Okay, I look at everything through the lens of business for the most part. I really do, because at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff we discuss here, like even tonight, there's business-oriented stuff. So I'm not Mr. Touchy-feely. Let's talk about our feelings about whether or not this or that should happen. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, it comes down to the almighty dollar. Is something worth it or not? Now, there was a lot of heavy hitters that weren't at Namm this year. I mean, I talked to Kiesel, not Jeff. I just talked to one of his representatives on the phone when I was talking about my guitar, and I was calling out there to see if I could stop by their place when I was out there to, you know, because you got to schedule something in the showroom. So I talked to one of his reps, and I said, yeah, I understand you guys aren't at Namm this year. I said, are you ever going to come back? He said, no. No, we're not. And he's like, there's really no need to. I mean, we're with all the Facebook Lives that Jeff does and all the stuff that we do here, and social media and all that, there's just no reason to go there and spend all that money. Now, I didn't know this. I knew this from talking to other people. I'm just going to keep names out because I don't want people to, you know, have any blowback on them. But a booth at Namm typically is anywhere between 30 grand all the way up to $200,000, depending on the size of booth and how much gear you're going to have there. I mean, you got to pay for the space, you got to pay for the carpet, the tables, the walls, the electricity, the Wi-Fi, this, that, all this stuff. They nickel and dime you to death, and everything there is so ungodly expensive and stupidly priced. It's an absolute ripoff. It's criminal how much they charge people out there. That they just literally got big heads, and they got stupid and priced themselves out of business. And you know what? They deserve going under. You know, if you're going to be that big-headed and that stupid, and you're going to rip off your clients and your customers that much by criminally pricing everything to the bottom of God's feet, that expensive, that high, then you deserve to lose the business. You deserve it, and you deserve to have people like Gibson and Fender and Kiesel and, you know, Mesa and all these big heavy hitters, EVH, all them, to just tell you to get bent. You know, it's like, you know what, you guys are all right, but you're not worth that. You're not worth that much. You know, we'll just go somewhere else. We'll either that or, you know, what does that say when these brands don't even show up after, what is it, 2 years of no Namm? You'd think that everybody would be all excited and be like, yeah, let's do this, you know, but they weren't. They were like, screw you, Namm. We're just gonna freaking keep doing our thing and not come back because your prices are stupid. It's not worth it. We're making plenty of sales without you, and basically going there is just detrimental to our bottom line. You know, and you know what? They're right. They're 100% right. And honestly, I would have been pissed off if I was a vendor at Namm. Let's say, all right, Tone Wars amps. You know, I make amps. You know, and I come out there, and I pay all these stupid, ridiculously, insultingly high fees to have my stuff there, then they don't even have a press day. There's no press day, you know. So they let the general public in from day one. Now, please don't call me an elitist for saying this, okay? I think the general public should be allowed to these events. I really do. I think it's awesome that they come. And who am I to say they shouldn't come? I'm general public. I'm just a small channel, so please don't say I'm elevating myself because I'm not. All I'm saying is like, okay, I'll give you an example. You watch the auto show every year, right? The Autorama or whatever it's called. Okay, what do they have? They have press day. They have a day where all the local news people come in. It's quiet. You can see all the cars, and you can do interviews with the spokespeople from these companies and ask them questions. And they're not shouting over a crowd. It's very organized and professional, and the camera does all the big sweeps and pans over the car, and you can see all the stuff and everything. That is what those car companies paid for. They want that day with the press so that they can have their stuff shown, because once you get there on the day where the general public is, I've been there. Oh, I think I saw a taillight or a fender or the hubcap. I mean, there's so many people there, you can't see anything. And then when you're talking to people, everybody's shouting over each other, and the YouTubers are in there trying to mic people, and everybody's like, yeah, blah blah blah, and, oh, it's got this, and it's just a big mess, And how can you really hear how things sound? I mean, but if you have a press day, or at least a press time each day, like maybe from 8 in the morning till noon. I'm just throwing numbers out there. It's the press, like YouTubers and other people get to come in and have an uninhibited view and sound experience for not only for the audience. It's not about us. I'm speaking for YouTubers here. It's not about, well, we want all this so we can, do. No, we're trying to give you, the audience, the best sonic and visual experience with all of this gear, so that you can have like front row seat to what this stuff is. And we're also doing it for the vendors too. Like for the vendors' sake, after they're paying up to $200,000 for the space there, I mean, wouldn't it be fair for the vendors to have that as well, like a day or a time period each day with the press, so that they can have their wares shown on YouTube for everyone to see? I mean, and as general public, like Joe Sixpack out there, if I was Joe Sixpack out there watching Namm videos, what would I rather see? Would I rather see a big circus and people walking around and bumping into the camera guy and people shouting into a microphone to get over the noise level of the crowd and crappy camera angles, of everything? Or would I rather see an uninhibited view at the product and a good sounding interview with the amp builder or the guitar builder or whatever, that I can just sit here and leisurely watch, and I'm not trying to like, what did he say? And I can't hear him over this, the shouting. And I'm telling you, I just can't believe that somebody like myself has to actually bring this kind of stuff up. I feel like if I was at a meeting with Namm, they'd all be like, what? You mean? I'd be like, yeah, stupid. I mean, you should have this kind of stuff for people. So it's better. It's a better experience for your customer. But they're so arrogant and stupid that they just don't even do that. And then this is why these big companies aren't showing up. You know why? Because now Namm's competing with live streams and with YouTubers going and interviewing these people in the same kind of experience that I just explained to you. Uninhibited, well-sounding, good camera angles, well-produced videos. So why would you pay let's say $60,000 so that you can be in the middle of a circus and have, let's face it, name one Namm video that sounds good. None of them do. They all sound like crap. So no matter, I could bring in golden microphones and it would still sound like crap because you got all the noise and the chaos going on. And Namm's not just about Namm, like what's happening there at the event. It's also about, the only thing that makes Namm live forever is YouTube. All the YouTube videos. That's what makes Namm live forever. And that's really what everybody sees. Because there's a very small amount of people that are actually at Namm experiencing all that stuff compared to all the people that are going to be watching the YouTube videos. So I think it's equally as important for the press day or press times to be, taken care of, as opposed to let's just have a free-for-all. So again, who am I to say that who can and can't be there? I'm just saying it would be better if they would have done that. And I think that they really screwed the people who paid to have their stuff there by not giving them that. That was a huge mistake. Huge, huge, huge mistake. And like I said, I think the bigger companies saw the writing on the wall and said, yeah, we're not coming, you know. So, let me see here. Let me make sure I covered everything. So, so what do I think should happen? Well, I don't know how many people out there have been to Sweetwater Gear Fest, but I can tell you right now that between Namm and Sweetwater Gear Fest, I would go to Sweetwater Gear Fest 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. Now, so if I'm saying this as, as just a regular Joe, as a YouTuber, and even as a manufacturer, because if you look at it this way, as a manufacturer, going to Sweetwater Gear Fest is so much better because number one, they already sell your stuff. So you have a mutual agreement and a mutual benefit, when it comes to doing this event. And it's at Sweetwater on their grounds. So do you have to ship a bunch of stuff there? No, all your stuff's already in the freaking warehouse, unless you want to bring a couple special pieces or whatever. But most of your stuff's in the warehouse anyways. Do you have to rent space? I don't know how it works there. I don't know all the inside baseball there, but I would assume that there would be a much better deal, whether it's free or it's a lot less expensive to be there because you're on their lot. It's all on their lot. And again, it benefits both parties to do this. The auditorium at Namm, they're just there to charge you way too much money to rent their space, But Sweetwater's benefiting from you being there and at their event because they're going to sell a lot of your stuff. So, can you buy stuff at Namm? Yeah, I guess you can. I've heard of people doing it. I didn't buy anything there, but I've heard of people doing it. But if you want to, as a patron, as a regular Joe, if I go to Sweetwater Gear Fest and I see something I like, well, I can pay cash, credit, check, card. I can even use their financing and walk out the door with it that day. So it's more customer friendly, it's more consumer friendly, but it's also extremely friendly to all of the vendors and the gear manufacturers because they get to show their wares just like they would do at Namm. This no difference, but they also get to have the sale that day, from it. And people are saying, some people might say, well, yeah, but Namm's all about revealing new stuff. Oh yeah, well, how much new stuff has really come out lately? Most of it's either half-baked because of all the shortages that we're dealing with, or it's something, maybe there's some new stuff here and there, but I think that having Sweetwater grab the torch and yank it out of Namm's hands would be the best thing that could happen for the industry as a whole, the consumers like us, YouTubers like me, and gear manufacturers. I just think it's just better for everyone all the way around. Now, if you've never been to Sweetwater's Gear Fest, I'll tell you, they treat you like kings. It's a great event, and there's a lot of great stuff going on there. And they even have classes. They have all kinds of clinics and all kinds of other stuff, and they're very professionally built sound stages and stuff like that. It is awesome. I saw Pete Thorne a couple of years ago do a class. It was awesome, and there's all kinds of different classes there, and they have performances there on the main stage. It's just really, really, really well organized, and it's just a much better way of doing it. And Namm should have paid attention to that, but they didn't. Namm just got greedy and stupid. So they deserve to lose the business, in my opinion. I don't feel sorry for them at all. They asked for it. I just think it's just more friendly to everyone. And if I was a manufacturer, I would say hell no to Namm, and I'd say yes to an event like Sweetwater's because it's just that much better. And the thing is us YouTubers, we can still interview these guys. We can still do reviews. We can still, talk to them about their gear. And it's a lot less chaotic there too, because it's more spread out. It's outdoors in a lot of cases. It's on their parking lot. So I just don't see why it's a bad way to go. And on top of that, so let's say you go there and you're like, oh man, this new amp by whatever company, that looks amazing. But you know how it is when you're trying it out in a noisy room, you don't really get a chance to really, see what it's like. Guess what? Sweetwater's got your own private amp room. You can go in their mall and book the room and just say, hey, I'd like to try this amp out. They'll get it out of the warehouse, take it to the room, and you can go in there and spend a little time with it in your own private, nice room with this amplifier and really check it out with all the noise gone. I mean, guitars, all of it. If you like what you saw out there, you can go in their mall and check everything out there, and like I said, you could buy it right there. I mean, there's just so many reasons why it's better, and their cafeteria is way more affordable. I mean, all their food is priced very well there. You're not going to pay the horrible California prices for everything. So it's just a much better way to go. So, anybody from Sweetwater, I know if you're watching, and you probably are here and there, I know a couple people there, like, seriously, go to Namm and just yank the torch out of their hand and just do your thing, man. I think you guys do a much better job. And you know what's funny is it's open to the general public, but it seems like it's just more smooth and more well organized, and I always had a better time there. I mean, I can't tell you, like, on a business level, like, just thinking with my business mind, how disappointed I was with how a lot of things were at Namm. It was really disappointing in a lot of ways. It really was. I just don't see how Namm is going to survive. I really don't. They're going to have to make some major changes in order to make that work. And I'm not one to just complain without giving solutions. I think I've given a lot of solutions in this video. I just think it starts with press day. And I'm not saying that's the most important thing, but if I was a vendor, I would say it is one of them. You better give me a press day. I want a day where I can actually have all the press, YouTubers, whoever, influencers, just come in and talk to me. And that way I know that all the stuff that is out there forever for everyone to view as much and as often as they want on YouTube. I know that they got good sound, a good interview, they got a good look at the product, and my display guys or face of the company guys aren't shouting over everybody into a microphone just in hoping that we got a good sound experience for you. I had to redo 3 videos because of we got done and we listened to the audio, and I'm like, oh my god, we got to do this again. So there's just a lot going on, so I think that the press day would be really good. And I just think that as a vendor, like an amp builder or whatever, I'll just say a manufacturer. I mean, paying that kind of money to be at Namm, I just think is an absolute waste. I really do. I think it's a horrible waste of money. And I'll go out there and say it now. Am I saying that everybody that did Namm this year wasted their money? No. I think they're going to get something out of it, but I mean, this guitar pick is like $3. I'm not going to pay $300 for it. Did I get a good guitar pick for the $300? Yeah, I did, but I spent $297 too much. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I just think there's better ways for people to spend their money. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Again, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Now, I think I covered everything. Yeah, I think I did. So let me switch over to the comments here, catch up to you guys. Again, just tag Tone Wars or put 3 question marks. Oh, thanks, Tony, for the super chat. Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that very much. Dude, you're awesome. Thank you very much, man. Let's see here. So again, on a personal note, I had a great time, meeting people and hanging out in California, and my seeing my brother and his wife and stuff. And man, his house is freaking awesome. Oh my God, So that was great. Hanging out with Carrie. Obviously, we went out and had a lot of great food and saw a lot of great stuff. We saw hang gliders. That was crazy. We went to this cliff and all these guys are just jumping off and hang gliding and stuff, and that was really interesting. Not something I would ever do, but yeah, it was cool. But let me see here. Let me catch up to you guys. Gravel Rocks. Sweetwater is all about the customer. They want to be the biggest and best music vendor in the industry. Greg Block just got a job there, and I can't wait. I can't believe salaries are good. Oh yeah, Greg. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to Greg. He just got a job there. That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for him. See, Klaus, Namm served its purpose pre and mid-internet days. Nice to see and socialize with the peeps in the industry. Lots of rock stars, completely different now. New companies taking out loans just to be there. Yeah, you're right, dude. And, you know, on that note, I mean, it is nice for people to see each other and to have that face-to-face. I mean, there is value to that. It's nice to meet. Like, I met some people that I've always been curious about, you know. And it was really cool to finally meet these people. And there's an electricity there. There's like this really cool vibe when you finally meet these people that you've been, you know, talking to via Facebook chats or, you know, maybe even on the phone here and there. But when you finally get to meet them, I mean, it's cool. Like Thomas Blug is a total awesome dude, man. He's a really cool guy. Very humble, very nice guy. Whatever you see on Facebook, you know, when you hear him talk and stuff, I mean, that's he's a genuine person, you know, very nice guy. And it was a pleasure meeting him and talking to him. He was very gracious with his time and very cool. And he's a genius. He's a very smart guy, great player. I mean, super cool guy. So I hope, I wish him all the best success. Same thing with, you know, Kyle Karich from Rev. I mean, great dude. I mean, it was really easy to talk to him. Yeah, it was great. You know, Justin from you know, Two Notes. I mean, he was also a really cool guy. So Merrick was nice. I mean, yeah, it was great meeting these guys. And Eric Steckel, an amazing player as he is, super humble, down to earth, cool guy. It was really nice seeing him play and stuff. So yeah, there's value to meeting people like that and having that face to face. But man, is it really worth $200,000 for the booth? I mean, like I said, it can be done cheaper. It can be done better, you know? So I just feel like, you know, I think it's time for Namm to, seriously, if Namm went away, it would not bother me in the least. It really wouldn't. And I hate to sound like that, but I mean, I just think they need to change their ways, and being that it's out in California, I don't think it's going to happen. There's just, you know, just too much greed involved with all the stuff that's going on out there. And I'm a business owner. I'm all about making money and all that, but last thing I ever do is overcharge my customers. I never do that. Not something I can live with myself for. So, but they're sleeping perfectly well at, you know, Namm. They don't care. Because if they did, we would have seen that by now, but they couldn't care less. I mean, they're just overcharging everybody. They got, their heads are so big and they're so full of themselves, thinking, and they're so overvalued in their own minds. And you can see it in the pricing. I mean, it's a joke. It really is. But, you know, you got to give it to them a little bit, because California is the same way. I mean, it's overpriced on everything, you know, because of the stupidity, you know, there. So, it's just the way it is, you know. You know. But Johnny Romero, what's up, man? He says, hey, Jared, tuning in late. I'll catch up. But cool stuff from Namm. You and Carrie shared with us. We appreciate that. No, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, I mean, we again, I mean, did Carrie and I have a good time? Yes, we had a good time. We had a great time out there. So I don't want to, you know, please don't take me like, oh man, you know, sour notes or whatever. No, I'm just talking, like I said, on a personal level, it was great. Business-wise, could not spend that kind of money again for what we got. There's just no way, you know. Daryl McMillan, what was your favorite piece of new gear at Namm? Good question. I think the most promising thing that I saw was, this is all based on speculation, because I didn't play anything there. I didn't play anything, but I'm just going on promising, you know, gear that looks promising. I think the new Ernie Ball guitars look freaking sick. Way too much money, but they do look really nice. Um, that spalted maple one was just beautiful. The neck, the fretboard, all of it was just outerworldly, just insane looking, just really, really cool. It's one of those guitars that you literally have to sit there and just look at for like hours and just to drink it all in, all the different details and things that were in there. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, work of art, pure work of art. So I would say those, and then I think the Ampex Iridium looks really promising too. The Ampex, I mean, with all the different effects and different things that Thomas is going to do with it. I, it's not done yet, so when it is done, I will get one sent to me, and I'll take a look at it, and we'll see. We'll see what's what. So until then, I don't really know what to expect. And again, this is me in Iowa in my Airbnb here. That's why it looks like it looks like I'm staying in some funeral home. These curtains and this couch and just, yeah, this place sucks. To be honest with you, it's a total dive. I hate it. It's not at all what I thought it would be. And I'm stuck here for a month now in this, thing, and I can't wait to get this job done and get back home because I feel like I'm living like no offense to college kids, but at my age, I don't want to live like a college kid anymore, and I feel like I'm living like a college kid right now, and it sucks. Anyways, let's see here. Let me catch up to you guys. Oh, you guys are still here. You're still talking about the food at Yellow Deli. That was good. Oh my God, the food was insane. So if you guys have any other questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them. It's definitely good to see you guys here. I'm here all by myself, and it's been a really lonely couple of days. It was a 9-hour drive here in my work van, which is never fun. Yeah, it's been pretty kind of depressing here, to be honest with you. So seeing you guys here has definitely cheered me up quite a bit, and I appreciate that very much. It's nice to be able to talk to some people because this really has been just me in this kind of dumpy Airbnb place right now, and it's just not been very fun. And the heat out here is terrible. Like every day I've worked so far, it's been 97 with a heat index of like 104 to 106. And I got 150 buildings to wash, and I feel like I'm never going to get done. It's just awful. So I can't wait to get home. Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing like some perspective to teach you some things in life. Perspective is a wonderful thing. Now I do have my Spark amp out here. That's what I'm practicing with. I don't know if you can hear that really well. So I have that here. I've been practicing with that. I do have my Line 6 M20D. I got a second one out here. I've had it sitting around my house for over a year now. So I brought that out here, and I'm going to be getting everything wired in and through my iRig Pro Duo here that I will hook into the iPad, and I'll be live streaming with my Spark and stuff, but and I'll be all in direct so you can hear me better. So yeah, that will definitely be something for you guys in the future. I just got to find the time to set everything up. I got home from work yesterday. I was so tired. I couldn't move. I was exhausted. I had heat exhaustion from working outside all day, and that was a mess. And I slept for 10 and a half hours yesterday. So if that says anything, I'm a 2 a.m. guy. I go to bed at 2 a.m. usually, and I was in bed by 9:45 last night. I was exhausted. So let's see, Daryl McMillan, oh, hang on one second here, I'll get to you. Tony says, the Purple Nightmare preamp inquiries intrigues me compared to the price of the full head. It could be great. Yeah, I think that will be a cool product. I mean, I like the fact that it's tube driven. It has the overdrive circuit in it, and it has the sizzle switch and everything. So, yeah, I think you can add it to your amplifier for 2 extra channels. So, I like that. I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's a great looking product. Daryl says, I thought the ESP booth was really good. Yeah, I watched Luca Lecum. I forgot. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Luca Lecumpi. I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Lucas or Luca. I apologize. I'm still dealing with a bunch of stuff here. So I watched his video today, and I didn't realize there was a second floor. I missed Engel. I missed the ESP booth. I missed a couple other things because I didn't even go up to the second floor. I literally was concentrated on the floor we were on, and I didn't even know. That's how stupid I am. So like I just thought Namm was just all on one floor, and we walked into different areas, and there was like wind instruments and stuff, and I'm like, well, I definitely don't want to get that. And then they had another section for other things, and I just thought it was all on one floor. So I found out today that there was a second floor that all that stuff was on. That's why I didn't see Engel, and that's why I didn't see the ESP booth, because I'm like, there's no way I would have just walked by them and not filmed that stuff. I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah, I missed those booths because I didn't even realize, that was how crazy it was too. We were there and it was like, okay, let's get this photo, let's get, this footage, that footage, this and that. And it was just madness, so I missed a couple things. So, but yeah, if I would have known, I would have definitely filmed that whole booth because I think they make some great stuff. So, Flux, what's going on, man? He says, so psyched to catch this live. Yeah, I'm glad to see you here. Did you get all that? Sounded kind of German. I'm glad to see you here, man. Love everything you posted about Namm. Thanks so much for documenting it for us. Yeah, you're welcome. For the people who appreciate it, again, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I really am. We did the best we could. It was a lot of work, and there's a huge learning curve to going out and filming all this stuff live and just doing it. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Klaus, thanks Jared, for your passion to bring us your live streams and your hard worker. Thank you. Thanks for keeping it real and get some rest later. Oh, you're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. I do it because I love doing this, but I also do it because I love our community here, and I love doing this stuff with you guys. And honestly, like I said, I'm really homesick right now, so seeing you guys here has really helped. It can lift my spirits up quite a bit, to say I'm homesick is an understatement too. I mean, I seriously, I can't even put into words. I feel like I'm living out a prison sentence here for 30 days, and I just can't get out. There's no way I can get out of it. This is terrible. I just got to get this job done and get home. I literally had no idea what I was getting myself into when I booked this job. I was like, yeah, I'll go out there for a month and make some money and come home, and but man, it's been an uphill battle at every turn, with everything. So I can't wait to get back home, and it feels like it's 1,000 years away. It really does. So yeah. Anyways, how's the weather? Kool-Aid Man, how's the weather in Iowa? Yeah, it was almost 100 today with a heat index of 106, I believe, and the winds were around 40 miles an hour. So it was like standing in front of a blow dryer on high with the hottest setting today. Every time you walk outside, it's just like blow dryer in your face. It was awful. I mean, you can't even move without just being covered in sweat, and the air when you breathe it in, I mean, it's like it's so heavy and just it almost chokes you. It's so bad. I hate it out here. Yeah, so I couldn't even work today. It was too windy, so I lost a whole day's worth of work because of the wind. So let's see here. Tony Krosick, I bet Kitty Whitty misses you big time. Yeah, he does actually. He's my neighbor's watching him, and he's been hiding. And she, I think he's depressed. I miss him too, man. He's my little buddy, and is what it is. I mean, it's going to be a month without us seeing each other. And I hope he doesn't get too depressed, you know, because I was his world, you know, like I adopted him when he was a teeny little baby, so I'm all he knows. So I hope he does okay though. One day at a time, Carrie says. Yep, one day at a time. One extremely long, agonizing day at a time. That's pretty much it here. Flux says the Majesties look amazing. Yeah, they did. They did look amazing. You know, it's too bad that they went so. I mean, I'm not saying they're not worth it, but man, the price on those. Oh my God, they're just so expensive now. You know, I mean, I guess things have gone up that much. So it is what it is. Excuse me. I know. I know that I think it's the Majesties are the #1 selling, you know, signature guitar on the market ever. So I think that might have something to do with it as well. You know, I mean, once you find out you're #1, just like actors, you know, once you become an A-lister, well, now I'm 30 million a movie. Like, great, you know. So I think there's a little bit of that in there, but there's also the stuff that's associated with everything going up too. So that's just the way everything is right now. Everything's way too high, and I don't think it's ever. I think some stuff's going to come down, but once people become accustomed to paying that much, it almost stays there, which really sucks. You know, stayflation. You know. Let me see here. So I'll be on for about 5 more minutes. I just wanted to keep this video as to the point as I could. Hopefully I covered all my points properly. Let me double check all that before, you know. Again, grateful to have gone. Grateful for the people that we met. Had a great time seeing different things out there. You know, so on a personal level, again, it was great meeting all the people that we met. It really was. And Carrie and I had a great time. A lot of great food, especially Yellow Deli. I mean, Carrie, you have to agree, Yellow Deli is the best restaurant we went to. And we went to some really expensive ones too, but the Yellow Deli is insane. If you ever go to California, go to Yellow Deli. You're going to pay a very fair price for the best food you'll ever eat. It's so damn good, you know, and the atmosphere is great. So that was awesome. I kind of wish we would have ate there more now because I would have saved a lot of money. Yeah, anyway, so, but yeah, on a personal level, it was fun. You know, she says the best. Yeah, you're right. It was the best. I knew that would be right up your alley, too. You know, but, yeah. But business-wise, like I said, yeah, I just don't see it being a viable option for me or Tone Wars in the future to go there. Honestly, I'd rather go to Sweetwater. I think the interviews would be just as good, if not better. I think the atmosphere would be way better. And I could walk out of there with great footage, a great feeling, some awesome gear, you know, that I could finance if I wanted to, and I would see everything I wanted to. I could go to clinics. I mean, it'd just be so awesome. Oh, the hummingbird? Yeah. Yeah, we saw a hummingbird while we were at Yellow Deli. They had all these like plants around us while we were eating, and there was one right behind me. So I'm like eating, and Carrie's like, "Oh my God, there's a hummingbird! This little dinky, you know, hummingbird," and I filmed it, just pollinating the flowers. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. Such a great experience there. It really was, you know. So, anyways, let's see here. So yeah, I guess that'll probably wrap it up for tonight. Guys, thank you so much. I really do miss you guys, and I really do miss doing videos and doing the live streams and stuff. And this next month is going to be interesting because I'm going to be out here working my butt off, and I'm going to come home every night just super tired because the heat is just not letting up here, and I don't do well in the heat at all. I've had heat exhaustion many times in my career, you know, and I'm very susceptible to it now. So, and I'm out in the worst possible conditions for it. So, I'll try my best to go live as much as I can and hang out with you guys. It's hard for me to do produced videos because I just have an iPad. That's what I'm live streaming with right now. So most of them will be live streams and hangs and stuff, and it'll just be me connecting with you guys and just trying to keep you up to date with what's going on. And honestly, on a selfish note, it will be me hanging out with my friends that I, miss, seeing, for my live streams and stuff at home. So, and it means a lot to me to have you here because, like I said, it's pretty interesting out here. I mean, I'm literally out here all by myself, and for a month, and I bit off way more than I could chew. I had no idea how hard this was going to be, but I made a commitment, so I have to stick with it. So, anyways, well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it very much, and I will try to do live streams as much as I can, and I will try to keep you notified and up to date in the the community section. So look there. And if you don't hear from me a lot, I apologize, but I'm super busy and super tired and all that. So, all right, well, God bless you guys. Thanks a lot for being here and hanging out with me. Every day's a gift. And, thanks for spending part of yours with me. I'll see you all very soon.